Equity is a beautiful word. Essentially, equity is the difference between the value of your rental property and the debt owed against that same rental property. It works the same for every property, but as a landlord, the tenants cover the expenses for the property and you reap the rewards of equity. Landlords that leverage their money and invest wisely in rental property can generate significant wealth over time. You don't need a ton of money to get started. There are typically two ways to buy your first rental property. Use the equity from your primary home for the down payment on the rental property, or purchase a rental property as your first home, such as a duplex or a triplex, where you have one unit to live in and the other units to rent out. While building equity in your home is not a guarantee, a quick review of your local area can tell you how the housing prices have changed over the last 5, 10, 15, and 20 years. It is likely that over the past 5 to 20 years, homes in the area have increased in price significantly. A local realtor may be able to help you with some of these answers. Leveraging your money is simply using a smaller amount of money to buy a more expensive property. This is usually how most people buy their first home. When you buy a home, you will usually have to put a down payment. This is the smaller amount, and obtain a mortgage for the balance from a financial institution, the larger amount. For example, if you put $50,000 down on a $300,000 property, you have used the principle of leverage. Leveraging your money can come from your savings, such as having $50,000 cash for the purchase of a $300,000 property, or if you already have a home that has gained equity, you could leverage a part of that equity. Here's how leveraging your home's equity could work. If you have a 3-bedroom family home and you've owned it for, say, 7 years, if you look at how much the property is worth now and subtract how much debt you have against the property, you'll come up with an equity number. For example, let's say your home was worth $350,000 and you owe $200,000 on it. You have $150,000 of equity in the home. You may be able to use a portion of the home equity as the leverage needed for the down payment of another property, such as a rental property. In most cases, a financial institution will not allow you to leverage all of the equity in your home. They'll just allow you to use a percentage, such as 75 or maybe 80%. Often, the maximum value you can use from the equity in your home is 75%. So let's look at the example. If your home is worth $350,000 and you owe $200,000 on it, you have $150,000 in equity. The financial institution you're working with may allow you to use up to 75% of the home value less debt as available equity to use. Therefore, 75% of $350,000 is $262,500. Now, you owe $200,000 on the home, therefore you can take the $262,500 from the bank allowance on the home, subtract the $200,000 that you owe, and that leaves you with $62,500 worth of equity that you may be able to use for the purchase of a rental property. Whew! You really need to get used to the math if you're going to look at leveraging equity. Now, there are often different rules for the purchase of an additional property. It's not the same as the purchase for a primary home. For the purchase of your primary home, you may have only had to have 5 or 10% down payment. But for the purchase of additional property, the financial institution will usually require a higher down payment. Sometimes it's 20 or 25%. While this may sound daunting, consider the homework you have done. Your primary home has increased in value over the past 7 years and provided you with over $60,000 in accessible equity. Imagine if you had more than one property asset growing and generating equity. Let's say you've done your due diligence and you found a rental property with a sale price of $200,000. It's not a mansion, it's a rental property. Your financial institution agrees you can leverage the $50,000 you will need for the down payment and legal fees from the equity in your primary home. They'll work with you on a line of credit for that equity value. You could also free up these funds by refinancing your home, but be wary of any penalties for refinancing before the end of your term. Either way, freeing up equity from your home results in the purchase of your rental property without any out-of-pocket cash from you. Yes, you will have 100% debt on your new rental property. This may also mean that the rent on the new rental property will not cover 100% of the expenses from day one. Now, ask yourself, is the potential gain in equity worth the extra $100 a month the rental property will cost you for the next year or so before it starts to break even? Now you understand why the wealthy often have multiple real estate holdings. Other considerations. How long will it take, at the current rents, for the rental property to start generating a monthly income? How long are you willing to hold the rental property and wait for the magic of equity? Are there any other benefits for me if I take a loss for a year or two? Will it reduce my annual tax burden? If your goal is to generate wealth now and into the future, buying a rental property is an excellent way to engage the magic of equity, generate income, and diversify your investment portfolio.